Your overall assessment of the game, I know there were times you were just trying to attack, and it seems like things were going the way you guys wanted, and there were times that you entered into the D-zone. Of course, good period overtime, you were able to come out with attacking and being able. How would you describe it?
Well, we weren't ready to start, so we got off to a slow start, and that really, that carried through a lot of the first period, even though it was really probably the first 5-6 minutes of the period. But all of a sudden that snowballs into 3 minor penalties against, and we end up doing a good job on the PK, but you spend again a lot of energy, probably at a time when we don't have a lot of extra energy to spend. So we had our moments where we had good pushes, but at the end of the day, and we spent too much time in our own defensive zone, even though we didn't give up a lot off of that. But the fact of the matter of that is we didn't have the puck, and we're not able to generate when we're playing defense and spending as much time in the D zone as we did.
On the plus side, not only did you get to practice your shootout, you got to practice the 6-on-5, the 3-on-3, the 4-on-3. Very accommodating of you guys.
You hit the nail on the head. We just talked about that in the back room. These are a lot of areas that we needed to work on in practice. Now we got the jump start. We were able to see those situations. Most importantly, though, the presence of our guys to execute in those situations is important, even though we haven't been able to work on them. The players went out, they were organized, and they did a good job and executed in those situations. So those are positives. There's always, we'll break this down and look at the different individual performances, some of the team items, but at the end of the day, one of the ways that you build, I talked about it the last couple of days, one of the ways you build chemistry and camaraderie is, by going through situations like we did tonight, where things aren't coming easy, not going all that well, but you find a way.
Earlier today, you said you didn't want to necessarily get your names on first line, second line, things like that. But when you see the way that line is playing with Jared and what Jared is looking, what sort of promise do you think that line provides? And how would you describe the way you've seen Jared be able to make that transition to center? Like, yes, he's done it before, but even he said, when you're making that transition from wing to center, you understand the responsibility.
Yeah, it's, one of the things that Jared and that entire line has done a good job. And to be able to have the ability to move back and forth from the wing to the middle is really valuable. But also what comes with that position is a lot of work. And you saw some of that in our team tonight. Especially as with our centermen and with our defensemen. When you're spending time in your D zone, you're spending a lot of energy. So that takes a lot of work, and that's no different for Canner. And so you saw some of that play into his game tonight as well. It takes, at the end of the day, he makes some plays for us offensively, which are key and at the right time. But he also, spent a lot of time defensively, especially in our system as a centerman, spending a lot of that energy defensively rather than with the puck and offensively.
You talked a little bit about spending some time in the defensive zone there. I'm curious how much you read into games like this, where there are times when Edmonton's got you kind of in a little bit, and that's considering that McDavid and Drexel aren't even out there tonight. Is there any concern from that, or is that just something you learn from the last?
Well, honestly, it's no different than I would have evaluated it a few nights ago when we were in Edmonton. Take everything into account. I look at matchups. I look at the result of those shifts. And the bottom line tonight, they were more ready coming out of the gates than we were. And then there were several shifts in each period where they did a good job with possession. They didn't get inside on us very much, but they won a lot of puck battles. So if I take anything away from it, I look at those things, and I'm going to look at the individuals that are involved in those battles and what the results are. I mean, that's part of training camp. That's what we're trying to figure out here. We're trying to figure out guys that can help us build shifts and build momentum. We had a couple, there was a couple stretches tonight where we had one good shift, two good shifts, and then we couldn't continue that sequence and we lost momentum. Well, that's part of being a good team, is that you have, you know, the next group up that can go out and build off of the previous line's good shift. We didn't have that tonight.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the connections throughout the game as far as offensive passing? It seemed like there was a little bit of trouble connecting in the ozone early on.
We didn't generate much early on. Our biggest, you know, one of our biggest issues through the first 40 minutes was we didn't get inside. You know, some of the good, we had some good looks. We had some really good opportunities, not enough. You know, and then on the opportunities that, you know, came from the outside, we weren't on the inside enough. We weren't around the blue paint with a net presence enough to generate a tip, to generate a rebound. So, you know, those two things, when you combine them, you know, it ends up being a pretty low event game tonight in terms of chances either way.
So when you notice that sort of tendency, how much of it is a conversation in the dressing rooms versus how much you're wanting guys to notice it on the bench and they say amongst each other?
It's both. It's both. You know, and we looked at a lot of things. You know, we looked at a lot of things over the last couple of days on video. You know, a lot of things that we would like to practice rather than just look at them. You'd like to go out and execute them in practice. We'll have that opportunity after tomorrow's game to be able to go out there and physically work at some of these, you know, some of these areas.
Just the can line with Giordano and Bender for the power play. What did you think about that group? Is there any chance that you see them continue to play better?
Yeah, that group was good tonight. The power play was pretty good tonight. If you look at some of the, you know, I don't really judge it by zone time, but that we did a good job in terms of creating possession, getting in the zone, that we did a good job getting pucks back, and we created good scoring opportunities. So that unit tonight was pretty effective. You know, does it have a chance to start together? Absolutely. But I mean, it's game 4 of the exhibition season, so we got a long ways to go. But that unit did a good job and created opportunities. You know, we had 6 lefties dressed. I don't think that would have been lost on anybody, so that creates different challenges in itself in terms of getting out of the zone. I thought we had too many sequences, you know, where our guys had to spend all their energy defending. You know, so that was I thought that created a real challenge for them energy-wise. You know, at this point in camp, you run into certain nights where, you know, energy levels are taxed, and the amount of time we spent in our zone, especially with the penalty kills in the first period, and, you know, a couple shifts thereafter, I thought took away a lot of the energy of our pairings.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone.
Good. Thank you.